Hi everyone, Comic Reviewer here, and this time reviewing on Superman, issue number 4. Now, as you know, this has the first appearance of Bloodsport, who is basically a guy who claimed to be from Vietnam, and there were a load of different Bloodsports. There was even a second one that was part of a white supremacist group for some reason. So, let's get on with the review. And it starts off mainly how Jimmy Olsen is talking with Lana Rat, mainly talking with Lucy Lane, and basically wanting to get something from her until he's like, "Lucy, get down!" and ends up firing, which kills men, women, and children. And we've got a guy who's like a pumped up G.I. Joe saying, "Fools! Animals! This is what we fought for! This is what we died for! Me and Mickey didn't get our cans blown off in Nam, so you could waste away your lives like this." And so he gets away, and Superman, basically Jimmy calls the signal watch, where Superman gets the signal and says, "This better not be another flat tire, Jimmy." And he points out about what's happened, and Maggie Sawyer's mainly shows Superman what's happened, where he looks into his horror, how people in the burger joint got massacred. And Maggie's like, "We estimate 25 dead. We won't have any cover units. We finished loading the body bags." How did this happen? And so Superman basically uses his telepathic vision to pick up Bloodsport's heat trail and goes after him. So Jimmy Olsen tries to get into his car, which doesn't work. So Jimmy Olsen hears the police radio and knows where he's going, to the bowling alley. And he starts blasting away and says, "You creeps! You stupid crawling creeps! Look at you! Soft and well and useless. All of you." And so Superman shows up to confront Bloodsport, and pretty much it's like a standoff against a guy with the powers of a god and one with weaponry. So Superman basically saves the woman and takes down Bloodsport, and basically gets ready for his gun that pops out of nowhere. And Superman's like, "What in blazes? That weapon just materialized in his hands!" And so he basically shoots him with kryptonite until Jimmy Olsen shows up with a gun for some reason. I have no idea how. And Bloodsport basically throws a pellet, which basically gives him a getaway. So the Doctors basically have managed to save Superman, but they point out that they couldn't find a match for a transfusion due to his loss of blood, as well as not having the same DNA as most people. So keep in mind, people like Connor, Kara weren't created yet, or brought into the New Earth continuity. So you only had Power Girl, who at the time was believed to be an Atlantean. So Superman basically has to stop Bloodsport, and basically Superman has figured out that Lex Luthor's behind this, and Lex Luthor's like, "Kimbo, so what in blazes is going on? A not unexpected reputation of yours plan, Lex." "What do you mean, not unexpected? You assured me this Bloodsport fellow could be controlled." And he points out that, since his non-flashbacks and even his kind of mental state, Lex Luthor realizes and shows a softer side, realizing that this was a mistake, saying, "Unfortunately, how many died so far? 40? 50? No more. Terminate him now." And so we see Bloodsport blasting away, and Superman basically confronting Bloodsport, who's still weaker, but manages to evade Bloodsport's attacks successfully. So he gets his gun materialized again and blasts Superman. But Superman basically is saved by the Lex Corp army, and basically, since this is the early adventures of the New Earth Superman, people think Lex Luthor was a hero before he was exposed for his criminal ways, and basically manages to stop Bloodsport, and even finding out about the guns, which are meant to be a teleporting device that's been used. And he points out that he basically heat raided them just before they got teleported again. And even tries to, to get him help in that. And Bloodsport threatens to bomb Metropolis, and basically until his brother stops him, who is revealed to have took his place in Vietnam, and even says, look, it's over, you don't have to do this. And pretty much Jimmy figured it out and got his brother to try and calm him down. And this is the end of the story. So, what do I think? It's actually not a bad issue. I think it shows that they could have done more with Bloodsport with this issue. Like, say, lost a loved one, or basically something. It plays off the kind of stereotype. Guy goes to war, or claims to, and then basically becomes something like Rambo. And it's definitely an okay issue, so it deserves a thumbs up. Still good, and still alright. So, Comic Reviewer here, signing out.